What's up, folks? Good people. How's everybody doing? Shout outs to Zulu. Shout outs to Let's Toast Media early in the chat. But how's everybody doing, man? Looks like we are live, so we can go ahead and start the talking. Quick show. Nah, it might not be so quick, but it won't be 2 hours. My older brother actually is coming to visit. He's running a little bit late though, so it doesn't have to be as short as I thought. But me and Smitty will probably try to get through the show, within about an hour, maybe a little more. But I think we got some decent things to talk about. Of course, we want to jump into how we feel about our teams and who they drafted and the moves it seems that they're making right now in terms of the NFL. We also want to talk about, and this one kind of came to me a little later. We'll talk a little bit about EA Sports acquiring Super Mega Baseball, the developer Metalhead. We'll talk a little bit about that. I got a few thoughts on it in terms of what it might mean, just a little speculation, but we'll see. And then, of course, we want to watch the ESBC, Esports Boxing Club, the final announcement show. I have not seen it, so I'm sure somebody's going to say something about it in the chat, and that's cool. But I haven't watched it. Shout outs to my man, Boxer Fanatico. I did jump into his stream before he started. And, I came back maybe and watched 60 seconds of it just to show him some support. But haven't seen it, so we'll see it here in real time. But that's pretty much what the show is going to be. So like I said, the pace of it might be a little fast because, of course, got company coming. I don't want to be rude or what have you, especially now since he's not coming until after the show has started. But anyway, y'all know how we do. I'm going to throw it to Smitty. We're going to talk about our weeks, talk about our football teams and how we think the draft panned out. Y'all saw Smitty's reaction last week live, but we'll talk a little bit about that. And then, we'll hit, I guess we can go into, maybe we'll do the the Esports Boxing Club thing first, because that's, we'll let that whole entire video run. But other than that, what's going on, Smitty? How was your week? How you currently feeling about the Lions and what they have done in the NFL draft?
I think that week went really good. I definitely would say that the Lions they did a great job. You know what I'm saying? From what was reported, I think it was Sports Illustrated. They're going to be running a 3-4 offense, 3-4 defense. So with the picks they got, now I know there were some offensive picks too. I just want to say this just to run over real quick. Sewell, yes, you know what I'm saying? Huge pick.
Cincinnati.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Cincinnati, Jack.
How did y'all let that happen?
Wow. I didn't no idea he was going to slip. Miami passes him up. Once again, excited, like, yes. And we had the choice. We could have got Jamar Chase. We could have got him too. But with the offensive line, we have a solidified offensive line now.
And I see y'all just gave old boy an extension. What's his name?
Yeah, Frank Ragnow. Yeah,
Ragnow, yeah.
Honestly, that's like, I should say, well, I mean, TJ Hawkinson was solid too. But I would say one of the few good moves during the Quintricia era, in terms of drafting. Those are two good guys there. But yeah, Ragnow, solid. And then you got Taylor Decker. You got a few other guys across that line. You have a solidified offensive line now. Now, if Sewell is what he's supposed to be, then yes, you have a very solid line now. And if you can establish a running game, now we just let go of Kerryon Johnson, so we just let him go. And which sucks because injuries really hampered his progression. So I would have liked to see him have one more year here and get a shot, but they let him go. But we can potentially have a decent running game. DeAndre Swift heading that up. And then you look at the D tackles, even though, yes, 3-4 defense, you would think we need more linebackers instead of drafting 2 D tackles. But our pass rush was garbage. So getting Levy and McNeil, these are tough guys. It like all the guys they picked up. Cornerback, my man, I ain't even gonna try to say his name. Derek Barnes, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are all guys that are physical, in your face. Like, these are some tough guys. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys will potentially be able to do for the team. And, we did pick up a wide receiver, but we also got another wide receiver. I can't think of his name. He's like a 6'3" wideout from Wake Forest that we signed undrafted. So we got some other guys. I think they excuse me. I didn't take a look at all the guys they picked up, but they signed 12 players unsigned that were undrafted. So they signed 12 players. So rookie camp will be interesting, and going into the preseason, it'll be interesting to see too, like who starts to show those signs of life potentially. So that's going to be fun. But cornerback, wide receiver, linebacker, and running back, Jamar Jefferson was, of the running backs in the draft, he was like the 10th best rated running back. I mean, it's crazy that he was, 7th round available, basically. But, let's see what he can do for us. I mean, we don't have a deep running back depth chart right now. So really we have 4 backs. Like, I know we have Bo Scarborough, we got DeAndre Swift. There's someone else we signed in the offseason, and then we got Jamar Jefferson. So I don't know what Dan Campbell and those guys have cooked up, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And just real quick, this goes to show what was going on with the team, because the coaching being bad. Because when my man Okuda, cornerback first, our pick from last year.
Oh, yeah.
And even though he had a bad year, okay? And he said, like, Jeff Okuda, I'll just read it verbatim here real quick. Jeff Okuda, I'm working with Aaron Glenn and Aubrey Pleasant, the new coordinators and everything that we got now. Within the first couple meetings, this is what he said, quote, within the first couple meetings, I was picking up so much things that I thought to myself, it just would have been nice to have these tools in my toolbox in my rookie year. You see what I'm saying? So that goes to show you how bad the coaching and preparation was when Quinn was at the helm. I know people can say, oh, but you should have your raw instinct, raw talent. Yeah, but that's only going to go so far. In NFL, you got to overly prepare. You know what I'm saying? Because these dudes are taking it up to a whole nother level in terms of getting ready, staying ready, and improving themselves. This is nothing like playing college. So for him to come in and be like, I'm learning all these things that I should have learned last year, that says a lot. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this team is going to be coached up, because it's going to be very interesting, and hopefully in a very good way. And seeing that, what's the name? Julio Jones is supposed to be, I guess the Falcons are supposed to be waiving him. And they said one of the potential targets is here. One of the key potential targets is here in Detroit.
So they can't trade him.
Yeah, so if he comes here, I wouldn't mind having him, and then I'll throw it to Sim. I wouldn't mind having him for 2 years. Reasons being, one or 2 years. Reason being, veteran presence, still can perform and take attention away. Like, he still can get down. And that's going to help the receiving core in general, because everybody we have is going to be new, youngins pretty much. We don't have any studs here. So that's going to make it real interesting when it comes to building, and helping these guys along with their development, along with the coaching and everything too. but that's going to help as well. And who knows? Maybe Jared Goff can actually be that guy. I mean, we have the next 2 years, we have 2 first-round picks for the next 2 more seasons. So if he doesn't pan out, we can make that move and get a quarterback. We don't necessarily have to get a quarterback, especially if he shows signs of life this year. We may mess around and he could be somebody here. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. We'll see how things pan out, though. But I mean, I'm looking forward to everything. Like, I'm very optimistic. My optimism is very high on this team. Like I said, I'm expecting between 3 to 6 wins max. So I'm not really expecting wins. I'm expecting them to be like the Pistons. Show those signs of life. Show the potential like, hey, man, if they get a few more pieces or if these dudes get some more experience, they'll be somebody. Like, that's basically what I'm looking to see on the field. That's it. So year 2, I want to see them step up, possibly make the playoffs, just miss it possibly. Or if they get 6 or 7 wins, I'm cool with that too. But then 3rd year, that's when I'm really expecting the turn up. You know what I'm saying? By that point. So you'll have the extra picks. Guys will be established. Free agency moves. Draft picks. I'm expecting some good things to happen by then. So, but I'll pass it to
man. Yeah, first, man, let me give a round of applause to Antoine, man, with the donation. Hopefully you guys are hearing it. The round of applause. Thank you for that, man. He says, how about my Cowboys? Yeah, man, listen, the Cowboys, I will say, putting Parsons right there on the field with a Jalen Smith. I was going to say Vander Esch, but he'll be there this year, but I noticed they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So honestly, I didn't pay so much attention to Vander Esch, I don't think in 2020, but I definitely remember the year before that. Or it might have been last year. I mean, last year was such a blur with everything going on. But him and Jalen Smith on the field together was pretty amazing, man, as far as the type of speed and ground they could cover at linebacker, and then you're going to add Parsons to that. Wow. Great job, Cowboys. I didn't really look at the rest, what they did. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I couldn't tell you too many more teams where people went after the first round because, after that, I'm really just focusing on my team as far as round for round. But, yeah, that was a great pick for them. The only thing else I would say really quick, I mean, some people felt like the Steelers shouldn't have taken Najee, where they did. They could have came, some feel like they could have went offensive lineman first or 2nd round and then got a running back later. And like I said on the show on Tuesday, listen, I get it. But, man, sometimes you just can't pass that type of talent. If you listen to what the Steelers said, they feel that they got valuable picks, especially in a guy, which would appear to be a developing center, which I think he'll turn into something. Kendrick Green that they plan to play as center. He played like 5 games as center in college, more so a guard, but I mean, he's nasty. He got that mean streak. He's got that mentality that you want, especially that Pittsburgh looks for. And, they valued, Kevin Colbert kept saying, oh, we're deep at offensive line in the draft. He basically kept telling everybody they were going to go with the running back if he was there. It is what it is. And the reason why I bring that up is because just like I say, the Bengals should not have passed on Sewell. I probably wouldn't have, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just valued a number 1 or would-be number 1 receiver more. Maybe they valued the connection with having that type of talent and reuniting him, reuniting their quarterback with his running mate to make him comfortable. Who knows? You never know why organizations do what they do. But I definitely felt like the Bengals probably should have, drafted, which, was definitely projected as one of the best linemen in the draft. They probably should have gone there first. And like I said, arguably some people feel like the Steelers should have did the same thing and taken Najee, but it is what it is. I'm not upset about that pick at all. You guys know I really like Javonte Williams, but as you saw, once Najee went, you saw how guys were being picked. It's very possible that the Steelers would not have come out of that draft with Harris, Etienne, probably not Williams, and probably not Sermon. You know, so that's why you got to go back and look and say, okay, I see why they took Najee first, and they felt like, you know, they could get offensive line depth later. Let me see. Anything else I got on the draft, man? I will say this. The Steelers didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Terrell Edmonds. Some people hate or love him, but he is steady. You know, he is what he is. I use this analogy all the time, Smitty. You know, I'm not comparing the players, but I'm just comparing the contrast. What we have right now with Minka and Edmonds is what you had with Troy and Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark wasn't the greatest playmaker, but Ryan Clark, what most of us Steelers fans would say, what was he good at? Run support. You know, he going to come up and lay the boom. You know, even at his size, he going to knock somebody's head off. Remember the Willis McGahee hit? Ryan Clark was solid, you know. And he might get a pick here and there if he's lucky, but Troy was the playmaker. Minka Fitzpatrick is the playmaker. Terrell Edmonds wasn't the playmaker, but I think from what he is, I think he did get better on a year-to-year basis. And the reason why I'm a little surprised that they didn't pick up the option at that price point is last time I checked, they didn't draft a strong safety. What are their plans next year? You know, who on the roster is the guy that you think might be able to take that role? Some people might say Antoine Brooks Jr., who we drafted last year. But, I mean, how much time is he going to be able to play this year to see if he can be that? So, you know, it puts me in the mindset of are we going to be looking for another starting safety next year, as we'll probably be trying to figure out what we're going to do at the quarterback position? I mean, interesting, but you know, it is what it is, man. You kind of just have to let that, you know, play out the way it does. The only thing else I will say in regards to the draft, and shout outs for Square Biz bringing this up. He said, hey guys, did you realize that nobody from an HBCU got drafted? I think that is ridiculous. There's plenty of talent in the HBCU, you know, those schools. I'm not gonna say type of schools, but y'all know what I'm saying. And you know, in the historical black colleges, there's great talent there. There's been players in the NFL who's come from HBCUs that were great players. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, you know. And honestly, I don't know for sure if the talent pool was or wasn't there. But anytime you have a gaping hole like that, that is interesting, man. How, you know, sometimes those colleges get overlooked at times, but you know, that sucks. So I'm definitely going to mention that.
I mean, I'll just say this real quick though. The thing is that you need to see a lot more marquee talent go to the HBCU. You need to see Jamar Chase. You need to see, you know, a Sewell caliber guy go to those schools. That's how you make that fluctuation. Like, you got some high school players, and coincidentally, Masterpiece's son, Hersey Miller, is going to Tennessee State, and he's like a legit recruit. Like, he's like a legit top player. Not like number one or nothing, but he is a top recruit. You know what I'm saying, in the nation and for basketball. And it's like he's going to HBCU. I think another very highly touted recruit, I think I don't remember his name, whatever, but he's like a top 50, top 100 player, and he's going to the HBCU. So it's like that's what needs to happen. That's how you get the pendulum to swing. It's going to be a lot harder because I mean, if you think about it, a lot of players that go to those schools are usually real low recruited, you know, 1-star and 2-star recruits and stuff like that usually go to those schools for football scholarships. You usually don't see a big name recruit that's going to go there. Even if you play NCAA 14, like, think about it. If you see Alabama State on a list with a 5-star recruit, there's no way that he's going to go to your school. Like, they're not going to allow you. The only way they do that is if you actually make that school a top tier school. So it's like they got to swing. They got to flip the equation on its head. Players got to make that decision. you know, and I mean the talent is there, like what Sim said. There are guys, but it's just not typical to see one of those guys go pro. I mean, not go pro, but be, oh, yo, I got to get him with a 2nd round pick or 3rd round pick. So,
yeah, man, and definitely what some of you guys are saying in the chat is correct too, man. COVID took a toll, you know, with how some schools decided to play, didn't play, played in the spring, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But of course, just going to mention that, and I am going to address one chat here really quick. And if I'm taking your comment wrong, then correct me. But if I'm taking it the way I'm going to read it here, Steelers baby, which of course I should be happy to have a Steelers baby in here with him being a Steeler fan. He says, "Stop with the race baiting, I swear, man." Let me come at you this way. For one, I generally never race bait. I don't. I don't play that card. Usually when I talk about race is a reason for me to talk about race, right? So my bigger problem is with you having that comment. That to me is a little more alarming. That because we mentioned the HBCUs with race baiting, when if we want to be realistic, we're talking about African Americans, minorities, yada yada yada. Just look at your NFL team and tell me how many of them are there. Yeah. What's the percentage? So how could we be race baiting when the NFL is mostly African American? So what are you talking about? I'm confused. Like, so how could we be here talking about ain't enough blacks? That would be real stupid for us to say that, right? We're just simply talking about historical black colleges being overlooked. So like I said, if you take that as race baiting, you can happily, that's what I'm on in 2021. I don't, views and stuff don't matter to me. I don't subs, as far as I only want people who want to be here. So like I said, if I took your comment sideways or wrong, my bad. But you making that comment to me, that's corny. So yeah, let's move on. Unless you got something to add to that, Smitty. That just riled me up for a second.
No, it's cool. It's like I saw the comment. It was just like, whatever. Stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you see all these guys that get drafted, and you come on, it man. Is what it is, man. I like
like, come on, what are you
talking
saying?
I'm not even about to do all that, man. It's like, okay, so you got it.
Go elsewhere. I mean, I'm love for you to stay, but it would be just as cool to see you go if that's the type of time you on. So, but anyway, let's move on. Actually, I'm going to make an audible. I said we were going to do ESBC first, but I think let's just go ahead and get the EA stuff out the way. Because I saw Kia's comment earlier. He said EA wants everything, and I'll kick it off. Guys, so listen, basically, by the way, Smitty, since we're talking about EA, let me tell y'all a quick sidebar how Madden really ticks me off, right? When you were talking about the receiver that y'all drafted, I knew who it was. His name is Sage Surratt.
Yes.
Or Surratt, right? Now, some of y'all are probably saying, dang, how does Sim know that? No, I didn't watch Wake Forest, but you know how I knew that? Because there's this nutty group of guys who play Madden Simulation League. There's this crazy guy named AzureEffect that likes to edit draft classes. And, each year that when we used to finish, we'd put in the next class and then we'll go to the class behind them. And then when we exhausted that, we started putting Hall of Fame players in. And guess what? There was a guy named Sage Surratt that was on my team, I think, in year 3 or 2, and I drafted. Remember, he was from Wake Forest, but he was big. And I said, this dude, let me see what I can turn him into. But you see how important it is to us, EA, to see how involved we are when we have whatever, man. That's why they tick me off so much. Because I'm forced to sit here and try to bob and weave in MLB and I don't know baseball like that, and I'm having such a phenomenal time playing the game. I would love to be doing this with my football game, but we can't because it's not deep. And then on top of that, the gameplay is still lacking with stuff that just shouldn't be there. But anyway, let's move on.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, my bad. Oh, listen, like I said, still is baby. The way it came out, if you didn't mean it that way, then again, I'm a man. I could apologize and say, look, my bad. But I'm just saying, just that comment by itself didn't give all this backstory. So it was no way for me to know that. But anyway, let's move on. So EA Sports, for you guys that don't know, I have the article up here, and there's really not much to read. I'll just give you the high level. They acquired a developer by the name of Metalhead who makes Super Mega Baseball. And then we find out a few weeks ago, and we didn't get a chance to really talk about this, EA is now getting back into golf. 2K Sports announces that they have the PGA Tour, what have you, with Tiger Woods. So they taken, we did actually talk about that on here, I think. They have taken the Tiger license away from EA, and I don't know what went into that, what went into it and what didn't go into it, but they were able to acquire the Tiger Woods rights, and then right after that, EA announces PGA Tour is back. How ironic. So 2K mentions that they're gonna have, we all know they're gonna have an NFL, some type of non-simulation, if you will, an arcade style NFL game. And then here comes EA, announcing they want to tell you, college is coming. They just got to get an announcement out there. Now they buy an arcade style baseball game, which makes me think, are they considering maybe having an arcade style football game? I know the jokes are going to come in. Y'all going to say they already got one, but y'all know what I'm saying. Are they looking to find a game like an NFL Street or something along those lines, like Super Mega Baseball is? Which, by the way, I didn't even think about this before. The way Super Mega Baseball plays, it is kind of simulation-esque.
It's arcade sim-esque kind of game.
Right. Could 2K get away with something like that with their NFL product? I don't know. Because I still don't think they could do 11 on 11. I just don't think the NFL allows that. But because here's my point really quick, for guys who've never heard me say it. I don't understand the benefit from the NFL standpoint for them to come out and physically say, hey, you can't make a simulation game, but then they let them make an 11-11 game with NFL real teams and names. I don't get that. That's why I feel like there's going to be some level of limitation the 2K product will have to mimic simulation. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Because again, the NFL made sure they came out and said, remember, this is a non-simulation game. And then 2K followed up. Then EA followed up. And I just don't feel like they would do that if you're just going to allow a company to make a game with your shield, with the team's likeness and all that, players, 11 on 11. It doesn't, then why would you give us that distinction? So, but again, it could be 5 on 5 or 7 on 7, and the gameplay could still be crisp. They just can't resemble 11 on 11 franchise. It can't be that, but that doesn't mean the gameplay couldn't be outstanding. So we'll see what they bring to the table. But anyway, back to EA. I know I'm pulling and grasping for straws here, but this is what I first thought about. This makes me put more pressure on the higher ups at EA Sports. Y'all spending all this money buying up all these other games. You paid $1 billion or so for Code Masters. You got a lot of arcade resembling type games now. You have a dedicated arcade game in Super Mega Baseball. There's no reason why Madden cannot now just be what it's supposed to be. No reason. Especially if we get any glimpse of a arcade football game, or think about the mode that you already have in your game, the yard. The yard is the reason why the base level Madden should be a simulation game on and off the field. Just the base mode, play now and franchise mode. Because you have a level of arcadiness in the game, in the yard. And now, like I said, you have gone so far to acquire an arcade style baseball game. So to me, this is how I look at it. I know I'm crazy. Now you might be able to separate, here are our fun products, here are our simulation products. So that makes me put more pressure on them. Like, stop, y'all got to stop playing now. Y'all spending too much money elsewhere. I don't want to hear, oh, Mud is making, man, y'all spending bread out there, buying these new licenses, new companies, new developers. Don't tell me the resources ain't there for Madden. I don't want to hear it no more. It pissed me off, Smitty. As soon as I saw that, I was like, here we go. Here we go. You the only one on the market. Yet, I have no confidence in Madden 22 whatsoever.
I mean, Sim, we talked about it, and when I shared that information and that insight with you on things, and I mean, that's part of it. But I ain't gonna say nothing out here. But I mean, the thing is though that you're right. You're completely right. I mean, look. They went ahead and got this baseball game. And now I don't know, because 2K was the one that had the deal with the MLB where it was like they could call the shot as far as who could or who couldn't make a baseball game outside of them. They let Sony make a game, but then they're like, no, EA can't make one. So by them acquiring this license, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Super Mega Baseball is not a MLB licensed game. So are they going to make an effort to acquire the licenses, for MLB? Are they going to do that? Possibly. We'll see. Right. With Tiger Woods, the PGA Tour thing, even that. I don't know if we touched on it or not. I'm not sure if we did. But the thing about that is, like you said, 2K got the Tiger Woods exclusivity. Bet. Right after that, EA, are we getting back in this? Okay. Oh, by the way, we officially are going to have all 4 majors in there. Oh, you mean the Masters is going to be in there officially and not, because, the golf club people, they had the course creator and people would make Augusta. Now, they're going to have the official thing in EA. See, I love the competition, but I don't like that whole exclusivity thing. Like, it's like you get this piece of the game, but we get this other piece of the game. And it's like, why not let them
like
both
FIFA and
get
PES?
it? Yeah, like FIFA and PES. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Like FIFA and PES. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all not going to get all the majors. You guys get these tournaments, but we get these majors. Like, yeah, you could have the Ryder Cup, but we're gonna get this. Like, come on, man. I don't like that. I want them both to get it and be like, let y'all both get in y'all sandboxes and who makes the better sandcastle. That's what I want to see. I want to see both visions with everything available, not just one person with all the toys to play with. That's what makes it corny. So, I mean, can both games be good? Yeah, they both are very capable. But I like competition, but I don't like how it's basically being segmented by exclusivity. And that's really it. So we'll see what happens with it, but I don't really like, I don't like the way the land is laying with it. But like you said, look, Super Mega Baseball is a game that it's not a super sim game, but at the same time, it has those sim elements in it. And it does play to a degree. It showcases that simulation side of baseball. Could 2K do that? They could. Now, there's no, I don't know. I don't know what the fine line or in between the line excuse me, is saying regarding the game, but could we see 11 on 11 with 2K possibly? I mean, they got the player license and the team licensing. Could they possibly do 11 on 11? And just because it's not simulation technically, could they still do it? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know,
That's
man.
the thing.
I don't doubt 2K. I just don't. It's the NFL that bothers me about that. I just don't like. Y'all know what I'm saying. I know Smitty knows what I'm saying too. Why would the NFL allow them to blur the lines that like toe the line? It don't. To me, it don't make sense from the NFL standpoint if they allow it. If you allow that, then y'all know the first thing me and Smitty gonna come back here and say on that show. Why didn't you just let them make the real game?
Yeah.
Like, it's so close to almost being simulation. That's perfect example. That'd be like them making Backbreaker with NFL licenses,
right?
Player names. They would be like, why did you tell us this is non-simulation? Like, that's all I'm saying. I don't trust the NFL to allow 2K to get that close to simulation.
Okay.
I don't trust it because otherwise they wouldn't have said that. I feel like.
And see, even my man in Philly is saying in the chat that Super Mega Baseball has a deep franchise mode in that game as well. So they got the deep franchise mode, but they don't have the MLB name. But 2K's joint is going to have the NFL name and the teams, players and teams. So they may be able to, I don't know. They may be able to pull off something. It may be, and like that's the whole thing. They just need to make a dent, like a legit dent. And who knows? They may be like, yo, open it up.
I'm hoping for it, man.
Yeah.
I like y'all heard me and Smitty both said it, man. I don't want to speak for him. I know he feels the same way though. I want one or two things to come out of it. It forces the NFL to say, hey, they do the Scooby-Doo on them. Like, wait, okay. I see what y'all did with that. We're gonna give you the full reign. We're gonna take the training wheels off. Or it forces the only game that can, quote unquote, I gotta always do this when we talk about Madden, quote unquote simulation game to become a great game. Either way, I'm good. Because y'all know me and Smitty have said this several times. We don't have hate for a company. We don't. I don't. I don't hate any. There might be some companies I dislike in terms of they don't produce great products. They don't do this, don't do that. Maybe clothing lines or something. But in terms of gaming, when people say they hate EA, it usually comes down to Madden, maybe NBA Live. But there are EA products that all of y'all play that you enjoy. Y'all know Battlefield is my joint. It's an EA product. Yeah. I like FIFA. It's an EA product. I like NHL. It's an EA product. I was in love with Need for Speed, the original. It's an EA. You see what I'm saying? It's like we don't hate EA. So if Madden became in the next few years or whatever, if Madden became the best football experience we've ever seen, you would hear me sit right here and be like, yo, bro, you played that Madden 25 or whatever, whatever it would be at that time, because obviously I don't think it's going to happen now. And that's the thing. So that's what we want. One or two things to happen. Either the 2K NFL non-simulation product does so well, the NFL opens the license and allows them to get back in, and others if they want, or it forces EA to say, let's stop playing. This little arcade 2K game is getting too much attention. Let's bury them and make the best game ever. We all win. We all win. To me, there's no lose in this situation.
Right.
So that's how we look at it, man. My man said, I hate EA Sports. See, I can't even say that because they make FIFA and NHL.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not fond of those who manage. Take the devs out of it because I've met these guys. Now, listen, let me disclaimer. I don't know all of the devs. Matter of fact, there is one. Let me see. How can I say this? None of the guys you've ever heard us really talk about, but there is one that worked. I don't know if he still does. That worked on the Madden team that I ain't too fond of no more. You know, I don't like the dude, man. I don't. I'll tell Smitty off air. Smitty probably already know. None of the people y'all ever heard us talk about. So those dudes, the Clints of the world, the A-Dubs, the Scants of the world, the Rods of the world, even Grady, Mole. I mean, it's a whole bunch. RG, a whole bunch of dudes. None of these people y'all ever heard me talk about. But there's somebody else there. Nah, he's a sucker, straight up. I don't fool with dude at all. And he might see this. And that's why you haven't seen me message you. You showed me who you were, bro. So he a sucker. Well, other than that, I'm not talking about the devs. I'm talking about corporate EA, whoever runs Tiburon and makes the decisions, or maybe it ain't Tiburon. So let me not say that. It's whoever the stockholders are, the stakeholders, whatever you want to call them, that controls what Madden is going to do and not do, progress and not progress with, or resources they're going to use and allocate. Whoever making that decision, I can't stand you. You are the one I don't like. If we got to go as strong as saying, hey, I hate that. Because I know of some conversations where there was some back and forth about, oh, no, we don't need to do. I don't rock with y'all. But I can't say I hate the company. I mean, like I said, they make games that I like, man. So, yeah. But yeah, I guess we can, if there's nothing else, we can move on. I did want to say this real quick, and shout out to that guy, Luke, that always comes into the chats and stuff, man. I always ask this question, and listen, trust me, I'm not picking on you. I'm not nothing like that, but I really want to know. Luke really loves presentation. He wants things to look and feel like the NFL. I respect that. If he had it his way, he would want it to be the real broadcasters and real broadcast package. I'm there with him. But I always ask him this question. He says, this is the reason why he plays 15 and 16. And I'm like, Madden 15 and 16 won't great to me either. Just me. And I just want to know what was so great about those. What was so great about 15 and 16? To me, it has been nothing but a slow progression towards where we're at now. Because there's actually gameplay aspects that I like better in Madden 21 on next gen, more than I liked in 15. Now, maybe the way the game felt a little bit. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about fundamentally the game itself. I'm not talking about when you hear me and Smitty say, yo, man, when we first played 16 in the studio. No. I'm talking about fundamentally, because still all of the same problems still existed.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. The only thing different is maybe it was tuned better in those games. But the core Madden has always still been the same Madden since it's been on this gen. So I'm just always curious when I hear people say that, like, and maybe that's not fair for me to say, because with me and Smitty dealing with the devs and all that, it's stuff that we want that hasn't even been seen in a Madden yet. So I'm always looking at it from that standpoint. You know, when people say, "Nah, man, I go," 16 was. I'm like, yeah, but we had. Y'all remember we've been on this show for years. We had the same issues with them games. But Kia says I actually like 15 and 16 a lot at that time. Don't think I could go back. Yeah, that's it, Kia.
That's exactly it. Like
exactly what Kia just said.
With him.
Like them for the time, but it's not like I could go back to those games and think they were so great in comparison. Nah, man, they still haven't done the stuff that we talk about. Smitty talks about leverage in the trenches all the time. I talk about player movement all the time. And we both talk about the dice rolls and the two-man anthems all there in those games too. So, let's move on. We will give you guys a break from hearing us yickety yap. What I'm gonna do now, and let me say this to ESBC game. Please don't flag us or nothing like that. All we're merely trying to do is talk about the game in a positive way and get people to view it. So don't go flagging this copyright. We're not trying to steal your content. We're merely bigging up the content. But what we want to do is we're going to watch this entire thing. Maybe if there's some slow parts, I'll skip through it, but it's about 15 minutes long. For you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, ESBC, Esports Boxing Club, is the new boxing game that we've been talking about for quite some time now. Shout outs to Boxing Fanatico, has been all over it. Shout outs to Sports Gamers Online. My guy Kurt and all of them over there. And I know it's others who talk about the game, but honestly, I'm not as familiar with them and I'm not subscribed with others. So I'm not leaving them out. I'm just talking about the people that I know. We're going to watch this whole thing. This is the Fighter Announcement Show Part 3. I have not seen it, so I'll be reacting to it in real time. And like I said, we'll watch the whole thing, man, so y'all can, y'all don't have to listen to us yickety yak so much. Give me a second. Let's share the screen. And again, man, I'm going to keep saying this every time that I use this. Shout outs to Smitty and shout outs to First and Frame Rates and those guys over there, man, that use this software, StreamYard. It is the best, at least for me. When me and Smitty are on, and whenever I have guests on the Terrible Towel Show, I use this format as opposed to OBS. It just works, and it works great, and we can share the browser and stuff like that. So here we are. We're about to share this right here, and let's watch. All right, I'm going to go on mute. 1 second.
Fighter Announcement Show.
Really quick, though, just confirm that you guys heard that before I continue. And then we'll continue. Just please confirm that you guys heard that. And then I will continue. Smitty's on mute, I think, because I can't hear him.
No, I heard it.
You heard it. All right.
I don't know if they heard it. That's the only
thing.
All
right. So somebody in the chat, just confirm it, and then we'll keep it moving. He says,
you want to pause it in certain areas, like you feel like you want to say something or whatever. Like,
we'll do that. We'll do that, guys. I ain't gonna make y'all watch. Just sit here and this ain't like when the school teacher will cut off the lights and watch the video. We ain't doing that. We'll stop in between times. Sound is good. All right, thanks, good. DJ. Oh, man. DJ. Speaking of which, that's one of the guys from First and Frame Rates, man. Listen, why hadn't we been on StreamYard? I don't know. But thank y'all for using it and for letting Smitty see it and recommending it. Boom. All props to you guys. But all right, let's go.
We review our hottest signings, past and present. We go around the globe to Eastern Europe and reveal two of the all-time American boxing legends. All this and more coming straight ahead on Esports Boxing Club's Fighter Announcement Show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being so patient. I know you have been on pins and needles waiting for this, our third ESBC Fighter Announcement Show, and now it is upon us. My name is Todd Grisham, and if for some reason you weren't able to see our first two fighter signing announcement shows, here's a quick look back at some of the highlights.
Forgive me, y'all. Sometimes I take funny shots and I don't do it often. But remember another Todd that hyped up a game? I'm just saying.
Here we go. One of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world today. They call him Bud, Caleb Plant. And how about Oscar Valdez Jr., Amir Khan, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Alexander Usyk. How about Alexander Povetkin? Roy Jones Jr. is back. How about Showtime Sean Porter, Josh Taylor? And how about my good friend Chris Algieri, Daniel Jacob, El Gallo from Mexico, and Chocolatito from Nicaragua. Yes, the Mexican legend himself, Tim Bradley Jr. There's only one, Ricky Hatton, Lomachenko, the incomparable Marcus Maidana, Big Frank Bruno. There were no two better small guys than these two men. How about Nonito Donaire, Clarissa Shields, Jessica McCaskill, Celia Breakus, Jelena Marjanovic, and Heather Hardy, Sergey Kovalev. This is ESBC. So there you have it. But that was then. This is now. You ready, ladies and gentlemen? Let's start announcing some new names in the ESBC Boxing Club. And right out of the gate, does it get much bigger than this guy? One of the greatest of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard holds wins over Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, and Marvin Hagler. He won world titles in 5 different weight classes. He was also the forefather of the mega paydays we see in boxing today. Sugar Ray, the first boxer in history to earn more than $100 million. And look who's joining us now from Southern California, Sugar Ray Leonard himself. Sugar, I got to ask you, how does it feel to be a part of the first boxing game in well over a decade?
Well, I must say it's exciting. In fact, I'm looking forward to it because now we have authenticity. We have the correct way of throwing a punch, jab. I can't wait.
This is the most realistic boxing game that's ever been created, Sugar. What one punch or one move in your character are you most looking forward to seeing?
You know what? My favorite punch is the left hook. I mean, that was my bread and butter, so that's my favorite punch.
All right, Sugar, everyone wants to know, what boxer are you most looking forward to fighting in ESBC?
I mean, who I would love to have fought was Sugar Ray, the real Sugar Ray Robinson, because he was just an amazing technician in the ring, smart.
Well, Sugar Ray, I mentioned that you made over $100 million in your career. I know you got a nice house. You got a nice trophy room. Would you mind showing us around? Let us see what you still got.
All right, guys, I don't think we need to see that part, so I'll skim through it. I don't know if everybody, if you want to do that, I'm going to actually copy the link now and I'll share it. You guys can go watch it. But the reason why I'm stopping here and the reason why I'm so excited for this game, if you guys really want to know why, okay, there's going to be fighters and boxers that we've seen in other boxing games, Fight Night and all of that, right? But the reason why you hear my excitement, the reason why you hear guys like Boxing Fanatico's excitement is the fact that, remember, this is a up and coming. This is not supposed to happen. And by the way, the little joke I made before that, I had the name wrong. I said Todd, which Todd was the guy linked to Backbreaker. I meant Damon. That's who I was thinking when I said Todd. But anyway, some of y'all will get that, some of y'all won't. But this is an up and coming. And every one of these guys, for the most part, that we've heard talk, for whether it was Sean Porter, a lot of these dudes, Sugar Ray now, they're all talking about authenticity. So for this to be an up-and-coming game, a developer I knew nothing about, I had never heard of Steel City Interactive. I told y'all, me being a Steelers fan, as soon as I heard that name, I'm thinking, oh, they must be from Pittsburgh. That's the important thing here. And again, if y'all have been following this game look like it's going to be great. And I know people are ready to tear it down, which I don't understand why. We should be excited as gamers when we see this type of stuff happening. But that's why I'm so excited, man, is they're getting these huge names. And this is a up and coming company. And all of these big name people that they are speaking to live on air are going to the one thing, authenticity. That to me, that says a lot. But whatever you got on that, Smitty, I'm gonna go ahead and skim through the Sugar Ray part. I don't think we need to necessarily see. Like I said, people can watch this on their own. But anything you want to say, Smitty, after seeing, the first person they're announcing here being Sugar Ray Leonard?
That's huge. I mean, huge legend. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray in the mix. But like you said, the key thing, like you're saying, straight up, authenticity. And one other thing I just want to add in before we continue this on, Maximum Football shut down their production.
Really?
Yeah. They announced it like a day or two ago. No, I think like a few days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. They shut it down.
Man, give me my 20. No, I'm just joking. I tried to support them.
And that's the thing that I was seeing from tweets and stuff like that is like, man, we're supporting the game and but see the unfortunate part about that is you got Madden across the street. That's the unfortunate thing. And we've talked about that. But look what you had across the street currently. You got, in terms of this, you got UFC, you got Fight Night Champion. And I know Fight Night Champion is decade old or whatever. I get that. Mm-hmm. But even with UFC right now, look at how this game looks from what we saw. The gameplay breakdown they did before. Look at how the movement and all that stuff and everything. Man. And then the visuals, the players, they're like, they're scanning them in 4K, 8K digital scan. Like, and that's what it's like. If you gonna come out, that's how you gotta come out.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Man. You gotta come out. So, and that's the whole thing. We were like, okay, they got a few named fighters in there. Okay, that's what's up. And it's like, no, they got all these people. And the game is like legit, like boxing.
So impressive.
Yeah. So
that's
is
the thing.
Oh, like these they don't have EA attaché to be like, EA will fly in a athlete and say, yeah, the game's amazing. I played it myself. It's great. Buy it. Like, no, they just saying that stuff. Yeah. These cats is like, hey, yo, man, I'm playing it. This authenticity, they got this from me and they doing this and that. And hey, you know what I mean? Like, that's amazing. So I'm excited for it, man. That's why it excites me because just to see Sugar Ray and see you have other boxers and their styles being depicted right. It's like, so what's going to happen with all these fighters? Like your mocap sessions and all that. How are you honest? Or like how we've talked about in the past with other games, are you just capturing boxing? Like, are you going to have the ring capture? Like, you know what? Let's get these featherweights. Y'all fight. Just fight. And we just going to capture. Just box. Man. You know what I'm saying? And just capture all those different intricate little animated moments that happen and program them into the game so it feels organic as you play. If they do that, man, you're gonna be able to depict everyone. Like, to some degree, it's gonna be hard to literally say, because there's so many boxers in this game. You're going to have some guys that are going to be spot on, and you're going to have some people that are going to be like, yeah, they show those real traces of this fighter, this current fighter, that legend, this guy, you know what I mean? This girl. I'm amazed. But that's how you do it.
And the key thing is, like Smitty said, these are big time people in the industry and they are drawn to this game. That's nothing more than the authenticity that they are feeling. Because like Smitty said, EA had the money to reach out to all the people we saw in Fight Night. Mm-hmm. This company don't. Now they might have some money, but at the end of the day, we know they ain't got no EA paper. Right. And if they did, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they produce other stuff, but I never heard of Steel City Interactive. So, all right, let's see who else they got, man.
All right.
You find this guy, and hell yes, we want to be in the video game. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Big Daddy!
Oh, okay.
Riddick Bowe! One of the kings of the heavyweight scene in the 90s, the first fighter in history to win the heavyweight title from all 4 major sanctioning bodies. His trilogy with Evander Holyfield was legendary. If you're playing with Riddick Bowe and ESBC, you're not playing around. Just listen to the man himself.
Hi, I'm Riddick Big Daddy Bowe, 2-time former world heavyweight champion. And I am the champion. So listen, get the game, play me as much as you can. If not, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
And sticking with the all-time great heavyweight theme.
Larry
there are
Holmes.
many names
Larry
higher
Holmes.
on the list than Larry
Know his jab
Holmes,
gonna be
the
crazy.
Eastern assassin. Started his career as a paid sparring partner for Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and he defended his heavyweight championships against 19 different challengers over the course of a 7-year reign. One of the greatest heavyweight world champions still alive today is in the game. Another 90s star. How about
Tommy
the dude?
Morrison.
Tommy Morrison, of course, famous Tommy Gunn and Rocky V, but his own fighting career started at the age of 15 when he used a fake ID to compete professionally.
He was a big
despite
boy,
being
though.
underage. One of the best
Got my man
left
from
hooks
Rocky.
in heavyweight
Rocky
boxing
V.
history. The former
Tommy the
WBO
Machine
World
Gun.
Heavyweight Champion Tommy Morrison is in Esports Boxing Club.
Boo.
And now to the current number 7 ranked heavyweight, according to the Ring Magazine, Michael the Bounty Hunter. He turned professional after representing the United States at the 2012 Olympic Games. He's got his eye on either Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. Michael Hunter, welcome to Esports Boxing Club. And now to a guy who's 6'6", but only weighs 150 something pounds.
This
Sebastian
boy is interesting.
known as the Towering Inferno.
Yeah, I've seen him
What
fight a few
character.
times.
He's going to be on ESBC.
Let me just say for boxing fans, what you got, check him out. He's so awkward, man. Like, again, look how tall he is and look at his weight. But the dude just jabs and jabs and it's not even fair. It's not even fair. But I'm waiting to see him fight some better competition, but let's move on.
Throwing heat from long range with unbeatable reach, and now he's well on his way to world title contention. Born in London to Nigerian parents, Lawrence Okoli represented Great Britain at the 2016 Olympics.
Don't know about him. I haven't seen him fight yet, but as a boxing fan, first thing I noticed is that knockout percentage.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on him. I mean, there's only 16 fights, but you get 13 of them out there. 81% knockout percentage. Okay. Now I'm curious. Now I want to see one of his fights to see who he's fighting and just kind of, break down his style. But anytime I see a knockout percentage like that, I'll pay attention.
And see the other thing too is that he's the current WBO world champion for cruiserweight.
He got what we in 2021? Yeah. This dude got 16 fights and 13 knockouts since 2017. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see who else we got. I got a feeling they're gonna hit us with somebody else big. Let's see. Probably another legend at some point.
Current WBO World Cruiserweight Champion and former British and European Cruiserweight Champ, Lawrence Okoli in ESBC. No one was sharper than Mark Too Sharp Johnson, the first African-American boxer to win a world title at
Fam, listen, let me tell you something. Only boxing heads probably gonna know who this is. This dude, his nickname is Too Sharp, right? From DC. And here's some quick backstory. I actually met this dude in person at a banquet because, like I told you guys before, my wife's her mother's husband, their mom remarried. So not my father-in-law, but my father-in-law, might as well. He's a world-renowned trainer. Like, he's trained guys in DC. He's been around. He was around with the Peterson boys, but he's trained guys like Chop Corley, William Joppy. dudes like that, like the DC area. And he had a banquet where they were honoring him, and Mark Johnson was there, but I had a chance. Like, I was like, yo, I used to watch this dude fight all the time. This dude is a sharp boxer. Yeah, he has 5 losses, but I'm talking about technical. So the reason why that excites me is because they're not just, what I like about this company is they're not just going for the big names. It's a theme with them. Like they really are sorting out like boxers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know about Tommy Morrison, but I mean, I ain't trying to disrespect them, but come on.
I mean, they got Butterbean in there too, so you know.
Yeah, so they're gonna give you some of that, but to see a guy, you know, for the boxing world, this is what I'm saying. If you're in the boxing world, that's just like perfect example. If all of us were big time college football heads, right, and you start hearing us pull names that may not have been the biggest stud in the NFL, but he was a great collegiate athlete, then you'd be like, oh no, that dude know college football. This is what I'm saying. They about their boxing if they bring in a dude like Mark Johnson, Too Sharp Johnson. So that's why I was excited about that.
Flyweight, the tricky southpaw became a 3-time world champion in 2 different weight classes before retiring. Welcome, Too Sharp, to ESBC. New York's Kevin Kelly was a world champion for 2 years, but was best known for being in big fights with big names. His rivalry with Prince Nassim Ahmed was heated, and their fight at Madison Square Garden was an instant classic. The all-action Kevin Kelly in the Sports Boxing Club. And now to perhaps our biggest female signing in Ireland. It's not only the men who can fight. Katie Taylor shot to fame in 2012 when she won a
little Carissa Shields against Katie Taylor.
Medal for Ireland in the Olympics. She's now a 2-weight world champion and the current undisputed world lightweight champ, coming off a fantastic win just last week. Katie Taylor still on top and now in ESBC. It's the battling Belgium, the former 2-time world champion Delphine Persoon. Her 2 fights with Katie Taylor, absolutely epic, and she is in Esports Boxing Club. Should I stop or should I keep going? Yeah, let's keep going. Some big names from the other side of the globe. Let's take a trip around the world and focus in on Eastern Europe. First up, Romania. Lucian Bute, known as Mr. KO for a reason. 25 knockouts from 37 victories.
Lucian Bute.
Super middleweights of all time.
I know I'm immature, so I used to always call him Booty. But Lucian Bute, dog, listen to what I'm saying. Boxing fans understand where I'm going with this. These is real fight. Like this, they not playing with no. Nah. Okay. Let's keep going.
Heading further east now, from Uzbekistan, we've got world super bantamweight champion Mirzadan Akhmadaliev and his countryman Israel Madrimov. The Dream, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm not familiar with those guys.
Melakuziev, Maktabuli, and Shakram Giasov. These guys are part of a wave of talent coming out of Central Asia right now. Future and current world champions, each one of them. And then to Mother Russia. Dmitry Bivol, he's held the WBA
I've seen him fight a couple times
since 2017 and is considered one of the top 3 active light heavyweights in the world today. Now let's focus back in on some boxing legends. Earlier, we told you about Sugar Ray Leonard, Larry Holmes, and Riddick Bowe. And now we go south of the border, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the greatest Mexican fighter of all time.
Better not be my man Macho Camacho.
Get up! The Lion of
I'll take that too. But if they got Camacho in this game, I'm gonna lose it.
Culiacan, the man who represents Mexican style. Bite on your mouthpiece, go forward, ultimate aggression, and that made him beloved the world over, and also made him
he was a bad boy.
Division
Do y'all see this man's record?
107, 6-2.
That's retarded, bro.
85 knockouts. Golly. You stayed fighting. You know what I'm saying?
That's retarded. Cesar Chavez was a problem.
Man.
World champion, one of the best, an absolute legend. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is in ESBC. Hector Camacho Sr., better known as Macho Camacho, one of the best.
There it
ever
is.
to come out of Puerto Rico.
I knew it when he said south of the border.
Put on a
Come on, man. Even though he's from New York, when you say you can't south of the border, you just can't represent that style of boxing. You know, for the Latino community, you just can't do it without Hector Macho Camacho. Come on, man. Wow. Sad, tragic, you know, ending to his story, you know, but wow. This is my guy right here.
Show for the fans. You're looking at a boxer that held 3 world titles, had great wins over Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Now, real quick, this proves how much of a boxing fan I am. Y'all got to remember, a lot of these dudes they talking about, I didn't watch them in their heyday.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, I went back and watched their fights.
Yeah.
Man.
An all-time great. But wait, there's more. Not only Hector, but his son Hector Camacho Jr. has also signed on to be part of the Esports Boxing Club roster.
It's Hector Camacho Jr. On behalf of the late, great Hector Macho Camacho, my father, we invite all of you to get the new ESBC boxing video game. I'm so excited though. It's been years since we had a boxing game. Get it, download it, and help me kick everybody's ass in my division. Macho time.
And just signed, it's Jake LaMotta, who
Old school Jake.
Yeah.
Gotta comment on what Kia just said. Bruh. If Tito Trinidad, if Tito in this joint, bro, man. But the crazy thing is like what Smitty said. They're not done. Like the roster will continue, and who knows how many will be available for early access.
Yeah, all these guys are now going to be available.
Yeah, they're just showing you what's coming, and it's going to be even more as they.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to support it, man. Especially if the game is as good as it appears to look.
Yeah,
gotta support it, man. All right, let's move on. We getting back into legend territory.
Many believe maybe the toughest fighter of all time. His ability to take punishment was legendary, and so was his ability to give it. Fans nicknamed him the Raging Bull because of his nonstop aggressive fighting style. The Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta, is in the club. I have a brother named Jeff. He's older than me, and we used to fight all the time. There's nothing quite like brothers fighting. However, the mother of these two brothers said they will never fight, but she can't stop them from squaring off on ESBC.
Gotta be the Klitschkos.
We've got one of the most dominant heavyweight champions ever, Vladimir Klitschko.
I knew it had to be the Klitschkos.
ESBC, so many epic victories.
Only reason why I kind of guessed that is, again, we're in kind of in the legend retired category now. That's why I said that. Otherwise, there's plenty of brothers, the Charlo brothers, you know, Peterson brothers. What's my other dude's names? What's my dude's name? And I think they from Michigan. The other brothers. I can't believe I can't remember their names right now. But anyway.
And could do it all. And we've got his brother, Dr. Iron Fist. Vitaly Klitschko. The two Ukrainians were
the Durrell brothers. That's who I was thinking of. And I think they from Michigan.
Most dominant heavyweight forces on the planet for over a decade and hold the Guinness World Record for most heavyweight world title wins by a pair of brothers. We've got the Klitschkos in Esports Boxing Club. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What an episode it was. Episode 3 of our fighter announcements. I told you it'd be big, right? Was it big enough for you?
I said, come on, we got to have somebody.
You think it wasn't quite big enough? Well, how about one more name? One more? I mean, we are billing this as the greatest boxing
gotta be Tyson or somebody.
And how can we say the greatest without having the greatest fighter of all time? I am the greatest.
There it is.
He's in ESBC. Muhammad Ali.
He
I thought it might have been
like
Tyson.
A butterfly and sting like a bee. His trilogy with Joe Frazier, the greatest of all time. No one could do what Ali did.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
He was a master of self-promotion, a non-stop quote machine.
I'm the fastest, I'm the most scientific, I'm the most creative. I'm the most artistic. I have the prettiest footwork, the prettiest face. There'll never be another fighter like me.
Well, there's no doubt that
Oh,
Muhammad
man.
Ali changed boxing and the world forever, and his legacy will live on right here in Esports Boxing Club. We're humbled and honored to have the greatest in ESBC. Well, I'm Todd Grisham. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't worry, more announcements coming soon. Keep it right here.
Okay,
to
more
the
announcements.
ESBC social.
I was hoping they was gonna say something like early access available now or something crazy like that. But, hey man, I can go ahead and stop sharing this. I thought it might have been Tyson or somebody. But listen, Ali, as soon as he said greatest of all time, you already knew who that was.
Yeah.
Again, guys, y'all have seen it. I'm pretty sure you guys by now have seen the trailers, the latest trailer. My excitement for this game is for two reasons. I have never seen, for one, a fighting game alone, but especially boxing. The biggest thing I used to say about Fight Night, and this was well before I was critiquing Madden. I used to be like, yo, they just don't move. Like, I wish one day they could make a game where footwork was important. Fight Night never did that. Ever.
Yeah.
And I don't honestly, and Smitty would know more than me because he's probably played it more than I have. I don't think UFC does that either. Where your footwork matters, or
not like ESBC has it. Not to that degree. It still is. I mean, your footwork matters, but it's not to the utmost fullest extent. Like, you can't throw a kick based upon your position. You got to wait for your feet to be set. It's like, if you input the command, they'll just automatically just switch the feet and do it. You know what I mean? Because you input the command. Unlike how ESBC, at least how it appears to be. So that's the difference. Like, it's good footwork, but it doesn't look like their game.
Look at Angel's comment, man. So, let me tell y'all something, man. And that's so funny how game companies can build a reputation. Because, coming off 2K5 and all that, I'm like, yo. And matter of fact, I don't remember. I think it was after that. I'm not 100% sure. But at least 2K was on the map because I knew who 2K was. So I'm thinking, yo, prize fighter going to be dope. And a disappointment. Man, that game was horrible. Horrible. But yeah, man. Again, my overexcitement for this game is just when they did the alpha trailer breakdown and they explained and I meant to make an independent video about this and I didn't. In the April update, bruh, they're gonna have one of the most simulation aspects I have ever seen in a boxing game. And not saying this is the best feature ever. I'm just saying this shows you the level of simulation that they're going for. They announced that there will be the ability to take a knee and take a standing 8 count.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh. So you telling me now I have more of a mechanic, right? From a sim standpoint, I'm going to decide if I'm going to stick in there and try to bob and weave and get one off and get lucky, or I'm going to just say, nah, I got to get my head together. Let me take a knee. What? That is ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying. That is no way you're going for anything else other than authenticity when you do that. Like I said, I'm not going to say it's the greatest feature of all times, but that right there lets you know the focus. You can take a knee to get an automatic 8 count because you in trouble. And we already know how the adrenaline system and all that they got. Like, man, fam, that's nuts, bro.
And see, the one thing I'll say though, Sim, is that I did see the reaction video earlier, when Fanatico was talking about it. And the funny thing is that people felt let down. And see, that's funny. You feel let down because they were the thing is, you think about all these other videos they put out. They've been showcasing all these current fighters. Very few legends.
Yeah.
All these current guys. And now you got this video that's shown mainly legends and a few current guys. I mean, there were a healthy amount of current guys here, but current known people. Like, you didn't hear anything about a Canelo. You didn't hear anything about a Triple G. You didn't hear anything, like you said, Felix Trinidad.
No
you didn't hear it. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So because you didn't hear that, it was like, oh, man, I mean, it was cool what they did, but and see, look what they've given us, though. They gave us so many boxers currently, so many of these guys, and then just some legends. So now it's like we've been spoiled to get that. And now the cool thing is, even though Todd did say there's more to come, Aimbot, which is one of the mods on Discord, he's one of the developers. He did say in Fanatical Stream that there is going to be another announcement. So now, as far as what, he didn't detail it. He didn't say, oh, there's going to be another fighter announcement video. He didn't say that, but he said there is going to be another announcement showcase. So there will be another one. Now, as far as what it's going to pertain to, we don't know. But considering the type of video that it was today that was put out, the assumption is, oh, there'll be another fighter showcase. That may not be the case. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, who knows? We'll see, because this game is going to be in early access for a minute. Okay, it's, you know, like I said, I've said before, there are games on Steam that have been in early access for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they'll have this thing in early access for as long as they need to. That's the beauty of it. And then they could push it out and say, all right, now it's in a complete state. We got everything we needed. We got all the feedback. We fixed this, did that. This is how it's going to be. And we'll still do fixes along the way, but this is how it's going to be. So, I mean, with what they're doing, like Sim said, and that's what I'm saying, all these fighters, you're talking about, I'm pretty sure for the greater majority, all of these fighters are going to get scanned in at some point. You know, I'm talking about folk that are alive. I'm talking about active fighters. I'm not talking about old legends and everything. But active current fighters, all these people are going to get scanned in at some point, I believe. They're going to either come into the studio or somebody's going to try their best job to replicate skill sets of these fighters when they box and throw punches, all that jazz. So we'll see. I mean, hey, it would be great to capture everybody's true essence of how they box and how they throw punches and everything. That would be amazing. But if they're not able to do that, then if they can at least get the likenesses, that would be awesome. You know, like a likeness of what these men and women can do. That would be amazing. So, man, it's beyond exciting to see what these guys are doing here. This is,
it's incredible.
Yeah, truly. See, and go ahead. So no, go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, I get, like you said, as gamers, I think we are spoiled. But we have to remember that this is a company nobody knows. Like, I'm surprised that they got all of this. Like, it really makes me think, how they do that? So it might not be as easy as some people think to get this guy, get that guy, get that guy. I mean, it still takes some leveraging, some licensing. I mean, so that's why I don't understand how some people are being so critical over, oh man, they ain't got, y'all do understand it's a two-way street. I'm sure they would love to have every single boxer we've ever heard of, but you know, you got to go to the license. I mean, to each boxer and license them into the game. And so to see a brand new outfit do that, I'm excited at what they have. And I think it will only continue. And they're probably going to have some sort of creating, you know, boxer creator. So,
yeah. That's the other thing, man. Philly just said too. Like, you can still create a boxer.
Oh, okay, yeah, he
So,
just said it, yeah.
Yep. So,
So-
and I mean, that's the crazy part. You can still create boxers
Yeah.
with all these fighters that are going to be in the game at some point. And I mean, there's going to be some kind of DLC. There's no way that these guys are all. And I mean, it would be stupendous if all of these fighters are going to be there. Now, clearly they won't be there day one, you know, when they do put the game out, but I'm just saying progressively, it's like, hey, we got an update and we added these fighters. Oh, sweet, bet. You know what I mean? So, but they also got to make some money too. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did have some fighters as DLC. So, and I mean, if the game is phenomenal, people won't mind paying for it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I'm with Diggy. I sure enough thought at first it was just going to be mostly, you know, UK fighters and stuff because, you know, obviously the company is from there. And I was cool with that too. I was like, yo, whatever. I'll fight, you know, whoever, as long as it's a great game, we can make it what we want it to be. But seeing that they got all of these names,
yeah,
man. But just think, if for anybody who felt underwhelmed, go back or go to their website and look at the full roster.
Yeah,
from the show 1, show 2 to show 3.
Yeah,
this is phenomenal for a new game, man.
I remember when we were talking about the game, and at the beginning, before they did any of the announcements and add-ons, and it was mainly UK boxers,
UK fighters, yeah.
Like, man, and I was like, oh, they got some female boxers. I'm like, okay, so they getting some official current people with it, and that's the thing that made it real. That's what really intrigued me, because other than seeing Arturo Gatti in that initial trailer, I'm like, okay, so they may have a sprinkling of legends that they could possibly get, but it looks like they're just going to have locals, and that's really it, you know, or not people that aren't really known. So I'm like, okay, they're really making boxing the focal point. But to see it this scale, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shuts down. Like, EA shouldn't even try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way they did. See, once again, to the point, that's how you got to come out. If you gonna come out with it now, I mean, I wasn't expecting all this now, but I'm just saying crazy. This is an overload. But I'm saying if you gonna come out with it, you got to at least be like Fight Night level with it. Like, this is what we came with. This is what we're bringing to the table. These guys got something else going on. So this is going to be amazing. Yeah, so the gameplay just got to be crisp. That's the key thing. But that's, once again, the beauty of the fact that it's going to be in early access on PC like that. So a lot of people will be able to get their hands on it, play through it, play test it, give their feedback and all that good stuff accordingly. So it's going to be huge.
I'm going to be all over the feedback, making videos and stuff saying, listen, I know a lot of people, and this ain't a disrespect, but it's the truth. A lot of people that watch boxing are not necessarily boxing fans. They want to see Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti every time. And if you know boxing, you know there was no boxing on display in that fight. That was a bloodbath. Even though I did like Arturo Gatti, you know, I like his gut and his grit. But come on, man, that was a fight. No defense. That looked like two bums fighting each other, right? But that's what most people that watch boxing want to see. It's the reason why they don't like. And I know people have their opinions on Floyd Mayweather and stuff, so I'm not going to use him as an example. But that's why some people feel like certain fights are boring, like a Guillermo Rigondeaux. For anybody who knows him, most people, oh, he's boring. That dude is a technician, like tactical fighter. That's boxing, and I think they're going to build this game like that, and it's going to be interesting to see how the public perception of the masses of people who are just into fighting and they won't be successful. I'm speculating here. I'm just saying they say they're going for authenticity. They're going for simulation. I think the button mashers are going to be in trouble. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be up to guys, you know, like myself who loves boxing and, you know, fanatical, all the people who are boxing heads, people in the chat. It's going to be up to us, man, to give that real feedback and let them know to keep their thoughts intact. You know, so there you have it.
Yep.
But yeah, Kia says never was a Gotti fan, thought he was overrated. Yeah, man, he was. You know, and like I said, I liked his he had the guts that would get you killed, if that makes sense. You know, I liked his attitude, but he just wasn't. Yeah, come on, man. Mickey Ward versus Gotti. I hear people all the time trying to tell me how great that fight was. I was like, what fight was you watching? They beat each other to a pulp, but that wasn't boxing. I mean, it was cool to watch. Don't get me wrong. You know, I watched it like everybody else. Like, whoa, who's gonna come out of this? But that wasn't boxing. Boxing is the sweet science of hitting and not being hit. Defense, counter shots, jabs. You know, like setting up your punches, not just swinging for the hills and both of y'all beating each other's brakes off. Like, no, that ain't. No. Oh yeah. Barrera Morales. Oh man, don't you talk about some wars? Even Pacquiao and Morales was. Yeah. Yes. Last thing I will say. Yes, Pernell Whitaker, man. That was a boxer right there, bro. But yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. The funny thing is, I thought we was gonna do a shorter show because my brother was on the way. He hasn't got here yet. In normal fashion, he always, you know, he's running late. But I'm gotta go get some things done here with the wife and kid before he gets here. So we're gonna go ahead and get it off, guys. Turned out to be a really decent show, man. We appreciate you guys following, watching, support, whatever you want to call it. Tomorrow morning, for you guys that care, I'm going to get my second government tracking device.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I got that in the morning, so I got to go get that taken care of. And like I told y'all the first time, man, I just don't. I'm just not a vaccine person, man. I don't know how I got talked into it. I know how. I explained that to y'all the first time. I'm not gonna go back down that road, but I got that in the morning, and that's about it.
All right.
I'm out of here. Holler at you guys later. Y'all be good. Be safe. Have a great weekend. And peace.
Peace.